It was 11 p.m. the night before the deadline when I clicked the green button with the word submit to send my chapel speech application. Right now, many of us might think, whoa, who would find pride in that? But hold on, ladies and gentlemen, as I will explain the reason in the next few minutes. For now, I'm going to tell you the story of my life from a little 14 years old boy who was shy and afraid of socializing to standing right here as a senior 2 student at Abu College, delivering this speech to other peers and teachers, hoping to inspire some. And my name is Kien. It was in the fall of 2018 when I first came to Canada. I can still remember the excitement in me when I was sitting with my mother at the airport. With my passport and boarding pass in hand, I sat there and imagined my future. Just in the next few hours, my dream of studying abroad will come true. I'm going to have an education that most of my friends could only have dream of. I'm going to have friends who come from all parts of the world. At least what the school's video said. I'm going to learn about a completely new culture. As an angsty teenager at that time, I laughed at my father's word the night before. He said, Kien, the next few years are going to be tough, but you gotta stay strong. I won't be able to help you much. I mean, seriously, Dad? What could go wrong? Like, who wouldn't want to hang out with a cool kid like me, right? So after 16 hours of flying and a 2 hours delay in Hong Kong, I finally arrived at Toronto at 11 p.m. You might not believe this, but my first impression about Canada was how calm and life here is so quiet. I grew up in the heart of a crowded city in Vietnam, where noises from vehicles on the street, colorful lights from store panels, and music blasting days and nights from the pubs have become an essential part of my life. However, on my way back from the airport, there was no such noises, no crowds, no music. And the only colorful thing I saw was a McDonald's advertisement board, the one with yellow and red on it. You might say, Kien, it's 1 in the morning. What do you expect? A crowd of people chanting, welcome you to Canada? Or has this guy ever been to Toronto yet? But trust me, this impression still exists in me even after 4 years of studying here. And it was at this moment that I realized I was far from home. I did not go to Applebee when I first came here. Instead, I was in Mississauga. I could still remember staring at the floor, walking awkwardly in the hallway during my first week of grade 9. Growing up surrounded by people who live in the same culture and speak the same language as me, along with my arguably gifted humor, I didn't encounter many problems in socializing. I was always proactive in reaching out to new people, lit up the mood of the conversation. However, being exposed to a completely new culture took that confidence totally away from me. I often found myself stranded in a conversation, not understanding what other people were talking about, and especially the jokes. Can I just get a quick raise of hand if anyone here saw the movie Zootopia? Great movies, right? So if I was depicted in that movie, I would be the sloth who would laugh at a joke 5 minutes after it was told, when everyone already moved into a new topic. Another time, I spent 15 seconds staring at the ceiling when someone asked, what's up, Kien? Until my math teacher jumped in and explained he was just asking how I am doing. After school started 2 weeks, my mother went back to Vietnam. I cried my heart out that night. In contrast to the excitement I had before, I only felt scared and lonely. When I realized I have to continue my journey here alone, I started to withdraw myself and created a border for my comfort zone. I avoided socializing and trying new things because I was afraid of embarrassing myself. I stayed mostly quiet in class, afraid of asking silly questions. Most of my free time was spent indoors, doing homework like a nerd, or watching friends' stories on Facebook about how their lives are so happy. I started doubting myself and my decisions of coming to Canada. Was it a right choice to leave my family and friends behind to start over in a country that is thousands of kilometers away, lonely? Throughout my grade 9 year, I didn't have much friends. I lived a life of an introvert and know nothing about Canadian culture. I had to change school in grade 10 due to some personal reasons. I remember ending the call with my father, freaking out when I heard that I will be in boarding if I chose to go to Appleby. I mean, I already felt lost in conversation just spending half of a day at school. How can I possibly survive if I'm surrounded by people even when I'm sleeping? It would be a perfect plot for Mission Impossible. Instead, this time, there's no Tom Cruise or happy ending. However, I still ended up moving into boarding, mostly because my parents wanted me to, but also because I wanted to step out of my comfort zone and make some changes in my life. That's all I thought. To my surprise, I didn't encounter many problems in adapting to my boarding life at Appleby. My first orientation week was wonderful. I met and participated in many fun activities with people from various backgrounds. I no longer had to walk and eat alone. Instead, I was always surrounded by friends. I found my passion for computer science, and most importantly, I have found the courage to try new things. I still remember bringing my code to Mr. Bright, outlining a specific plan to solve my problem, then asking him whether it worth a try or not. And almost every single time, he would turn to me and ask a question that became his life motto. What would we lose if we try? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to explain the reason why I submitted my chapel speech application at the last minute. If you were to time travel back 2 years ago and tell me I would deliver a chapel speech one day, I would use that conversation as the strongest proof against time traveling. Is there no chance that it is going to happen? Although it's true that I've gotten more courage to talk with people and socializing, however, public speaking is a completely different story. I can talk to 1 and 2 people at the same time, but hundreds of them, absolutely no, thank you. And that's the reason why Dr. Carter's first email about chapel speech application went straight into my archive folder without any further thought. No offense, Dr. Carter, it's not about the email, it's about me. So anyway, 2 days before the deadline of the application, I received another email from Dr. Carter. The email stated, "Final reminder, don't forget to submit your chapel speech application. The deadline is Monday, September 27 at 4 p.m. At that moment, I look back at my entire 4 years in Canada, realizing how much I've been through and how much I have grown. I decided to apply for the speech, as I wanted to share how much my life has changed since I came to Canada, and how your life can too. So, my fellow senior school friends, time flies, as they all say. I apologize for taking so much time with my speech. But if there is anything I want you to remember from this speech, it would be just 2 things. Firstly, never forget to send out a reminder email, as you will never know what will happen. Never have Dr. Carter sent out a reminder email. I would now be sitting on those benches, jealous of the speaker's confidence. Secondly, and this is the most importantly, never be afraid of stepping outside your comfort zone, as the worst it can do is to help you be better. Never have I come to Canada, I would never learn to be independent and the importance of socializing. Never have I come to Appleby College, I would never have met wonderful people and gotten courage to learn new things and grow. Never have I submitted that application at midnight. I would never have a chance to stand here and share my experience with you. Don't worry, friends. You certainly don't have to travel halfway around the world and struggle in a completely new culture to step outside of your comfort zone. Instead, this is much easier than you might thought. Just try out something new, something you haven't tried out before. It might be playing a new sport, learning a new language, or even just talking with someone you haven't talked with before. Whenever you feel afraid, just ask yourself the question, what will I lose if I try? Because at the end, looking back, what we regret is what we didn't do, not what we did. Thank you so much for listening to my speech. Now we will sing the hymn, Draw the Circle Wide.